no cost. So now you slow it down, and hey, we're going live stream. You slow it down, and you actually also add your odds of success because you lower it. So every position you're dealing with on the loser end is different, but I'm just offering one that came under fire. Here's another one, Rivian. Okay, so Rivian, again, when I opened the trade, I said, this is a completely speculative stock. So listen to this. I didn't just go in and say, okay, I'm going along Rivian. I said, I want a speculative stock. I already have a few speculative stocks. At the time, I didn't have many. One of which was Palantir, a good P&L, speculative because it's been a while and it has its haters, let's put it that way. And let's say I had allocated 5,000 for it in amount. I'm making these numbers up. I only had 1,000 deployed. And that's the truth. I only have 1/3 of my position deployed at the time. I thought to myself, okay, so I want to diversify my speculative risk in that stock into other speculative stocks. So what I did, I said, okay, I don't have 5,000 anymore here. I have 3,000. So I took that difference in money. I said, I'm going to take away from you, Palantir, and I'm going to put them in another stock called Rivian, which is more speculative because Palantir has a good P&L. This one does not have a good P&L. Okay, that's a bet on the future. So if I took some money from here to here, I'm not increasing my risk. All right. So now it is, I put my money here. And when I shared the trade, I said, here's what I'm doing. I'm selling a put spread, 15, 13, 12 and a half, and I won't defend it. It was a credit put spread, which means it's a bullish position that needs our Rivian to be above 15. I said I won't defend it. If price falls below 15, I would tell them, give me shares, and I would sell this for money, just like I said I would with the other one, and I'll break even in the 14s or 13s, depends on the numbers at the time. That was in my thesis when I took the trade. I said completely speculative stock. They lose a ton of money. They're not guaranteed to survive, but I think their odds are good. Okay, and then guess what? The company diluted its own stock, and the price fell, and I believe it's in the 13s now. And the credit put spread is coming for, actually it came for expiration, but a week before the expiration, or 5 days, I sent out a note. I said, this trade is underwater. If you don't want to own shares, punt it another couple of weeks to 4.6, and it was zero cost. So I moved the same spread to 4.6. So I bought myself some time at zero cost. If I didn't do that, I was assigned at 15. So now I'm long shares at 15, and Rivian is, let's see where Rivian is. So this is not a discussion about Rivian. I'm discussing trades that have gone bad and how I would deal in recovering my money, right? I already discussed Square, and this is Rivian. And Rivian is in the 13.6. So if I got assigned shares, I break even above 14 slightly. So I'm down a little bit. So if I gave me 100 shares, I'm down 100 times 50 cents or so. Not a disaster. Okay. Now that's my scenario. If I did not get assigned shares because I moved my spread over to 4.6, April 6th, then I'm just sitting on a bad credit put spread, but the strategy is still the same. Take the assignment and sell the protection leg to see if it brings me some money and break even somewhere around 14. All right, so that's the deal with Rivian. Now, if I bought shares and I'm down 20% on the shares and I didn't take a full-size position to begin with, I don't add right here, right now. There's no reason why Rivian is not single digits. I don't know. They have no profitability. They spend a lot of money and they don't make a lot. I'm confident they'll sell everything they make, but they need money, more money, more money. And I think the relationship with Amazon is deteriorating. So the relationship with Amazon seems like it's gone downhill because they went out to the public market and diluted their stock to raise money. I can imagine that Amazon had the first right of refusal on that. So they may have gone to Amazon and said, hey, I need more money. Amazon said, no. And then Rivian said, okay, we're going to go to the market and you're going to get diluted. Because if Amazon is a 28% holder, if you bring in more shareholders, your piece of the pie is going to shrink. And that's what hit the stock. because they added shares. They took convertible notes, I think. So people lent them money, and in return they could just take shares instead. Okay, so this is my situation in Rivian. A tough trade. How can I recover my money? By buying myself more time, or at least have an exit strategy, and I do. All right, so let me go into the options positions here and see if we can come up with another scenario that we can speak to it. And then I'll open it up to a question from you. Oh, FRC. Whoo. Okay, so I got a little bit of drama in me. And when the banking scenario happened, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a risk on the riskiest stock out there. And I sold the put to own shares in FRC. So my bet basically saying this company will survive. I don't know at what price, but it will survive. My break-even point is in the 9s at this point. So I could get assigned at 1250, I think. Let me check. Does it have a 1250? Anyway, but I break even under 10 because of what I'm doing with it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 1250. So I sold this guy right there, and I collected $175. So I'm upside down on that position. But if they assign me now, they can. Price is below 1240, so they can assign me at any point in time. Price does not have to be below, but mathematically this makes sense. I'd still make money because I can just immediately sell the shares if I'm able, and I collected $1.70, so my break-even point is 170 below 1250. So 11 something, I'm broken even. And I also sold these guys, and those were profitable, and I closed them. So I got another 80 cents, I think 50 to 80 cents out of these, and I closed them. So now 250, I can take it down to 10, slightly lower, and I'll break even. But this stock can go to zero. Do not do this. Do not do this. This stock can go to zero. In hindsight, I should have probably picked the FRC because it's a basket of a whole bunch of stocks, the FRC. Sorry, right. Not FRC, KRE. KRE is an ETF on regional banks. So if FRC survives, KRE is definitely doing well, better. And if FRC fails, KRE will fall a little bit, but it's a bunch of stocks. And they're not all going to fail at the same time, hopefully. Okay. So this is a challenge position. So how do I deal with it? I close it if I don't want the risk. And I'll say, okay, I tried and I lost some money. It happens. It was a wild card, and it was not an all-in situation. So it was literally me attempting to catch a falling knife, and it backfired. Okay. Disney, here's another one. I'm long Disney. What would be your thoughts on Credit Suisse when it was trading? I would not have touched it because I don't know banks outside the US. Okay. Or Deutsche Bank now. Somebody asked me over the weekend, what do you think of Deutsche Bank? I was like, I wouldn't touch it. I mean, I would hesitate touching Bank of America because of the chart. So I don't know much about toxic waste, but it's definitely an undue risk. When I take risk, I want a calculated risk. I don't want a wild card risk. Okay, so let's talk about Disney. Speaking of calculated risk, this is an excellent scenario. Check this out. So Disney, I had a chart on Disney set. Let me go to 15 minutes. I think you can see it. Yes, I'll go to 2 hours. So here's a 2-hour chart on Disney. Let me take out the overnight. Okay. At one point, I drew this red path, and I put it there. And the chart was here somewhere. And then this happened. It hit my target immediately. So I said, okay, I'm going to go long. How did I know this path is going to happen? It just happened before. So all I did is copied and paste. Look, check it out. This. And it happened before that up here. I was like, okay, it's going to happen a third time. So I drew it right here. And it rallied. I said, this is available. And then it'll come back. And when it came back, I said, I'll go long. So how did I go long? Is by selling a credit put spread. Again, it's calculated risk. I know theoretically I have an 85% chance of success. So I took the shot. And that spread is slightly red, but it's working. As long as Disney stays above 88, I win. But if the market's correct, I bet you I'm going to lose money here too. So that's all predicated on the market's not correcting. So that's why it's important to leave room for error. All right. So how do I deal with this? I don't, but the way I usually do it is if I go to options, there they are. That's the position. This is the delta, and it's 0.22. As long as it's below 0.3, I'm okay. So this is a 50-50 chance, 0.5 delta, 40, 38%, 33%, anything below here, I've got, my odds of success get better and better because I sold it. So I want time to tick and nothing to happen and me to win. Person that bought this from me is praying for Disney to fall. They buy it, I sell it. I want time to pass and nothing to happen. They're praying for Disney catastrophe so they can make money. Okay. So that's why I want time to tick fast and nothing happening.
Right, Nick. Yeah, whenever you have a moment there, let me know. We
go
just
ahead.
have a lot of...
Go ahead. I need to check on the message.
Okay. All right, folks. So really quick, we're getting a lot of questions here about the live room. So we're just going to go over this really quick. Yes, and that is correct, Lisa. So just for today only, you get 2 years for the price of one, right? So 2 for 1. The lifetimes are also 2 for 1, and also you are getting a discounted rate on it. So that's only for today. That everybody was asking that. But as far as the questions of the chat room with Nick, are the sessions on Sundays recorded? Good question, Michael. Yes, they are recorded and they are posted in the blue chat room, in the main chat, the original chat. And you have full access to those recordings, replays, and it's about like a 2-3 hour video. Maybe Nick can kind of show you there on the screen. That's actually where he was. And you can join live. It's not just like a recording. Like, you can actually join there, participate. We highly encourage you to participate so that you go to all the meetings, all the live sessions. It's fully educational, full trading room. It's the best of both worlds, really. Jessica, what is the chat room schedule? The blue chat, that blue chat room, the one that Nick was showing you, that is open 24/7. We have a global community, people from all over the planet. So that's always open. There's always people there online. And as far as when Nick is in the live session, which is basically like he is right now, he's sharing a screen, talking with members, going over trades. That's from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, plus Sunday. So overall, you're getting like 50, 60 hours of intense sessions, intense trading and education sessions. Next question, does Nick provide education? Yes, he does. Chat room notifications. The chat rooms have push notifications. So if you download the Benzinga app, it's free on your phone. You will get trade alerts, entries whenever David Fondue, he's a lifetime member. I signed him up. He says it's like a school. I felt like lost on some of it and only learned through his live narration. Yeah, I mean, that's really where you get Nick. So yeah, you do have the push notifications there. Let's see, next one. Is this for day traders or people with full-time jobs? It's for both. Nick does provide trades for people that have full-time jobs, people that are working part-time, trading part-time, or that they want to trade in a more passive manner, right? Setting out those credit put spreads 2-3 months out. Trades that low maintenance trades, right? Trades that you don't have to babysit, right? Trades that allow you to have a regular normal life, that you don't have to be stuck in the screen. Why? Because Nick is doing the work for you, right? So Nick will do calls, puts, spreads, iron condors, all that sort of stuff. And again, it's 2 years for the price of one. I'm going to put this on the chat. So if you're on Zoom, click on that chat. And if you're on another streaming service, check the chat. Nick, did I miss anything there? Anything that you want to note about the room? About your library?
Well, here's the thing. People are concerned I can't be in the room. You don't have to be. If you can make it, it's a lot of fun. You're going to learn something. If you want iron condors intraday, even with all this wild stuff this week, all of them worked. Here's a trade setup that I did with a positive entry. So this is SPX 5-minute chart. Here, okay, I remember this. I remember that. Okay, so this is Friday. This week, I learned a new trick from somebody I know. And I was like, you know what? They've been talking to me about this and that, and I've never had time to play around with it. And I was like, I'm going to do it this week. So I swear to you, overnight, before the market opened the next day, I had signed it up, set it up in one of my charts, and I set up my charts on the upper left-hand corner monitor. A monitor I don't touch, but I can see. So it's like, I'm going to put it on the 5-minute chart, because then the breakout there will be slow moving. So a lot of people can follow a 5-minute entry versus a 30-second entry. And I saw a trigger on the 5 minutes. I said, based on this method, this should be good. And this is the box I set up. Price was right here. I said, it doesn't look like a breakout, but the method says it's a breakout. I said I would enter the position here, calls or shares, and exit here, or take 1.5% of the size of the risk in profits. And look how it played out. It filled up the green perfectly. It might have had more to go, but the bell rang because of this inverse head and shoulders. I said, I love this setup because the system told me it could happen. I love the setup because it looks like an inverse head and shoulders, and the goal is somewhat close to where the target would be from the other system. So that's two things coming together, telling me, hey, there might be something here. And this was an actual trade that people took in there. Meanwhile, if you're on the slower side of trading, I have had this trade up for a long time, this one and that one, and they're going to win. Those expire on the 31st. They're pennies now, probably. And there was an opposing one, two credit put spreads, 36.50. Okay. When I took this, the markets were falling, and it looked like, oh my gosh, it's going to come to fruition. Well, if you close it now, you seal the deal. Now, this is a very fast version of that. So this is a credit put spread that says if price stays above 60 through 331, I win. Opposite to it, there's a bet that said if price stays below 41.45, I also win. And for that, I would make 20% in profit in a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, 20%. With 85% certainty on both ends, on either end. So this same concept, we play every day. Zero DTE, they call them. Options that expire the same day. We've been on this before CNBC started covering them. We love these. So every day, there's a setup like this one. This was from Friday. Look, 230327. That's the Monday, sorry. The Friday one was here, 24. So this is for Friday, and the credit call spread and credit put spread. That was the deal. And also, they asked me for a credit put spread for Monday and a credit call spread that's labeled wrong. So I said I wouldn't take them, but if you want to have a weekend work for you, then you can take it ahead of time. So on Monday, they will wake up, deal with the open, and see if they're going to win. So the options that expire intraday, iron condors, iron butterflies, regular butterflies, calendars, and diagonals, I discuss them all the time. And if you don't know what they are, I guarantee you I'll teach it when I mention it. So if I said, okay, earnings are coming out from stock ABC, the implied volatility is now double the usual, which means anything you buy for this week is twice as much as it should be, so you shouldn't buy it. Instead, you should buy something out 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month and sell something against it for this week. And I'll explain. I'll say, you all know that a call vertical looks like this. I buy, I sell. That's a vertical spread. Let's say I don't sell it here, I sell it here, then that would be a calendar spread because I bought it here and I sold it here. I jumped calendars. And let's say I jump calendars and change levels, then it becomes a diagonal. I'll explain all of this every time I do it. So all these are spreads: vertical, calendar, diagonal. You do one of those three. This one is not advantageous from implied volatility standpoint, but these two are, because I'm buying something cheap. I'm selling something expensive relatively. So the next day, I don't even need a rally. Even a drop will make me money. Why? Both calls would lose money, but this one loses a lot slower than this one. This one collapses. This one loses, but not nearly as much as that. So if I paid $1, the difference will be, the next day will be $1.40, even if the stock drops a little bit. Now, if the stock drops 14%, you're toast. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that happens in there. So do I teach? Hell yes, I teach. Do you have ears and you're willing to listen instead of just taking a trade setup? You're going to learn a crap ton every day. I guarantee it. I learned last week. I learned something new and made money right away for the team with it. Not every trade we make makes money, and not every trade comes from me. Okay. A lot of the huge trades that won came on lottery tickets from somebody that pops in. I'm going to buy a put and so on an earnings on a lottery ticket. It was 8 cents and it exploded to $2 or whatever. I can't remember the ticker now. Somebody reported and got shellacked. I don't remember who it. And it wasn't me. So Ryan popped in and said, I'm buying a lotto put on a stock. So I said, did you guys see that? I said, this guy has a good habit of guessing right on earnings, because earnings is a guess, really. And he's paying 8 cents or 12 cents at the time. And it turned out to be a huge winner. I forgot who it was, what stock it was, but they nailed it. They nailed it. So it's learning. It's a constant classroom. If you come in and say, hey, Nick, can you talk a little bit about call spreads? I'll stop and talk about call spreads. It's not just learning. Imagine going into a classroom, stopping the teacher and saying, I'd like to learn about this other chapter that you're not talking about right here, right now. They'll tell you, no, you can't do that. Well, here, we'll try to make it happen. Even if I had already done that the same day, I do it like 3 times. So I apologize for those who have heard it twice. But guess what? That they heard it the 3rd time. By that 3rd time, they probably can teach it themselves. So there's a lot of room for growth. And it's not, if you're coming in for the trade alerts, like, oh, I wish I'd gotten this one. You're missing the whole thing. And here's the thing. We've gotten, as a group, so good at picking the close. Like, where is the S&P going to close? On Friday, we didn't get it, but we knew how to make money with it. We usually guess within $20. You think it's too big. I dare you. Try to do like 80% of the times guessing exactly where the market's going to close. If you can do that, your iron condors will be bulletproof, and you make money with that. And some iron butterflies, which are usually low odds trades, but we use them in a pretty special way. And we're getting better and better. There's a whole group of people in there that have their own spreadsheets, and they contribute to their guesses. And like if I guess this and they guess that right next to it, and somebody else guesses this right next to it, then we know for sure that thing is going to come right in the middle. I mean, everybody's seeing the same thing. So while I'm talking about this, and there's a question that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'll answer it. That's real life. That's what happens. I'm talking about trade alerts, and somebody is listening, and then they have their own idea. They interject. And if I say, wait, let's hold back, ask me in 10 minutes, I can do that. But I'll do it here. So somebody wants to know what dividend stock I'd like at this time. So I'll be honest with you. I don't do dividend stocks. I did one for the group, which was Verizon, and I'll do it again. Made money off of it, even though the entry was not good. The stock fell and it rallied, and it fell and it rallied, and got out for greens. But it would be it. It has a 7% dividend and somewhat boring P&L, and they generate, I don't know, $8 billion a quarter in cash or something like that. I'm speaking from memory. Somebody today in the group, I'll show you what dividend trade. One of these stocks, is it APR? Something Realty. Pays 15% or 18%. I was like, no, I wouldn't touch that. Arbor Realty, is there ABR? Yep, 14% on this guy. Wouldn't do that. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know anything about them. But Verizon, I do. So I look at Verizon. And if I look at the statements, the cash flow statement, cash from operating activities, yeah, $8 to $10 billion a quarter. That dividend, they can probably make it safe. Versus ABR, I don't know anything about it, so let me go educate myself. Yeah, ABR barely does. Sometimes it's negative cash from operations, so it's an iffy proposition whether they can hang on to their dividends or not. So no, anybody that pays you 14% in dividends, very risky. There you go, Shannon. Hey, Shannon, what are you doing here? My goodness. Okay, so there's somebody that learned methods and is applying it with Brett. So they're a team, and they're a family, and they they are guessing the close pretty accurately every day. So that's the kind of people we have. So Shannon, I'm sorry, is in there. Willow Puff is her nickname. She's in the live room all day, every day. She was in on Sunday. I saw her this morning, and here she is now, not required to be here, and she'll be in here tomorrow morning. So that's the kind of group we have. J&J or CVS. So Carlos, CVS, I know about the story because we have Bill, super funny guy, nice guy in the live room. He's stuck. He got exercised early. He sold the put against my better judgment. We discussed it, and we kind of gave him direction as to what to do. So he had a credit put spread that went bad. When he said, I'm going to go long, I said, okay, support, but I don't know anything, and I wouldn't do it. He's under now. So he's stuck in it. It pays 3% dividend, but that's neither here nor there. The downside could be a lot more. Technically, it could be 60, okay? Because if you think about it, if this was the downside scenario, whoops, sorry about that, then this is the downside scenario. So technically, it could be that. Whether it goes there or not, I don't know. It does have support, but the support is wide, is what I told Bill. It's very wide. The closer to 64, the better. So he had a credit put spread, and he tried to save it, and finally he's got assigned shares. So he woke up owning shares. He said, do I sell calls? I said, I mean, your assignment is higher than here. I think the assignment is somewhere around 81. So, which means I couldn't find calls close enough in time that are at 79 or 80 that would break him even on a rally back. So I said, on the next rally, you can start selling calls against it, but not now. Now if you want to stop the bleeding, you buy some puts. But now you're throwing good money after bad.
CVS is a solid company, right?
I don't know. No? I mean, they have stores everywhere. Have you been in one recently? I haven't. They have a good pharmacy side. So let's look it up financially. First, I look at the income statement. Okay, so they're still growing. That's pretty good. Net income doesn't concern me as much, especially when it's a growth company. There's nothing outrageous there. The cash flow from operations. I want to know, like sometimes the P&L hides some things, like Carvana. I called Carvana a no touch way before it fell to whatever, $2 or whatever it was. Because of this, the P&L looks, whoa, look at how fast it grows, and the losses were not that great. And then you come in here and it was minus $2 billion or whatever, a drawdown in cash from operations. Now, did they buy something? What is this minus 2 billion here? I'd be concerned with that. Okay, so let me go to annual. Okay, so cash from operations is dropping, but still running at 16 billion trailing 12 months. But I'd want to know what happened here, minus 2 billion. I don't see another minus 2 billion. So you need to know what happened here. Where is Gint? Yes, Gint does very well. So that's the CVS. For me, it's not for me. I don't believe in retail on the floor like that. What do I think doing weekly options on Trade Desk? Trade Desk is an active stock. Weekly options, you would need to be active with it. So if you can pay attention to it, I'll help you do it. I don't like Trade Desk. Is that a Brazilian company? Is that like a Brazilian Shopify? Or Square? Gauge and provision technology platform advertising? No, it's not. Okay, never mind. So if you know the company and you want to engage with it, sure. Snow, I think I have a trade, bullish trade on Snow that is working out, I think. Trade setup, 105. Yeah, I sold the put spread in Snow for the team and I shared it. I sometimes put it on the chart. I don't see it. So what is this? Yep, 105, 100. 105, 100. So I am on the hook for a credit put spread in 105, 100. So I need Snow to be above here to win in the next few weeks. I think middle of April. So somewhere around here.
Right.
So if Snow does this, look at all the support Snow has. If Snow does this, and then loses support, whoop, it comes down to here. I may sweat a little bit, but I think I have enough time, hopefully, to avoid the disaster.
Nick, and you're basically giving, just for everybody that's watching here, these are strategies that you can give custom trades for individuals that maybe, as an example, hey, I'm working all day, Nick. I just want to trade. You know, I'm trying to make 20.
That would be a trade for somebody that doesn't babysit. So if somebody says, hey, what can I go long today? This would have been one at the time I issued it. I like to catch falling knives of good companies into good solid supports. Like somebody said today in AMD, they asked for AMD chart and they said they wanted to sell a credit put spread. I was like, not for me. I like the company, but you're chasing. You're selling risk into a prior fail. So let me say it differently. What did I say about how to get out of losses, right? If you're stuck in losses from, say, August of last year or before that, so beginning of last year, we said how to recover losses from 2022. Isn't that the headline for the show? Okay, so how? You just got back to even. Get the fudge out as fast as you can. But it could go to here. So what? The right thing to do is to get out and re-engage when it comes down to here, because it probably will come down to 92 or 88. And if it does, then you're ascending the channel. Then you have the right to get long again to see if you can ride it to here and then pop. So if that person wants to sell a credit put spread, do it on a dip. The closer to 88, the better. This way you'll put the risk here. If you're long from up here, you get out here. So. All right. Do you have something to say before we take some fast fire?
Here's the thing, Nick. I just want to make sure we're all, right now the markets are very, very shaky, right? And somebody was asking me, like, if there would be one day that they could be in the chat room for trading, which day would it be? I know that obviously Fed meetings and Fed minutes, all this stuff, those are all great, days for volatility, right? Because you do have people. Again, I just want to make sure you guys know that Nick doesn't only do these passive trades for people with full-time jobs. He's also helping people scalp and day trade options and day trade stocks.
Day trading is what we do all day. I just mentioned a whole bunch of them. There are people that do it via options, and people that do it via futures. So, and some people that do via options on the futures. The advantage there is if you have a small account with trading rules like PDT rules, the futures on the options on the futures are different than the options on the SPX. They're exempt, so they're not cash settled, but they are exempt, so you can close them without repercussions. So that's the scenario. So UNH is a very important conversation. People don't realize how important UNH to the whole market, all of it. And I'll show you why. So follow this. Listen, folks, before we go on, we are at a very dangerous time in the world, especially from business in the US. We have a severe lack of leadership. Don't take that as a political statement. Both sides suck to high heaven. Okay, both sides. Everybody is in charge. Sucks right now. There is no leadership. So I have to assume that anything can happen. I say that confidently. So let me show you something about why UNH is important and you should pay attention and manage your entire portfolio based on what happens in UNH. So this is a stock. Can anybody tell me why it is important? Not my guys and girls. You guys know the answer. If you're new, why is UNH still important for the whole market? I'll leave this chart open and you tell me if you can pick out on why. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, the minute is up. I'm going to tell you anyway. Anyway. So think about it. Look at the chart. See where's the danger and where's the mini good news is. Okay, so this is a 2-hour chart. So we're talking 2023. Okay, so if UNH loses this is possible. If that's the case, the Dow is crashing. The Dow is crashing. This stock is almost $500. in an index that is price weighted. This matters 3 times more than Apple. What? This stock in the Dow matters 3 times more than Apple because it's $500 more, $500 a share, pretty much. So when this moves down 1%, it moves the whole Dow with it, and vice versa. This is an inverse head and shoulders that could bring it to here, breakout. Okay, so this ping pong, when it breaks, will have severe consequences on the whole market. That's the upside scenario. And if this is happening, the Dow, the DIA is in the breakout mode, and chances are we'll take the SPX with it. If this is breaking down, the Dow, the DIA is in breakout mode, and chances are I've never seen the SPX rally when the Dow is crashing. So this freaking stock is very important. Yeah. So it has tremendous support here and reasons to get to here. So if you want my guess, it's going to ping pong here. And then when it breaks this or that, chase it in that direction. Simple. That's how I would trade UNH. But it's important what happens to it for the whole market. Okay. Nvidia, what are you asking me, Prasad? Are you asking about Nvidia to go long? If so, I suggest that you definitely need help trading because you're falling to the I feel like it needs to go long. Nvidia, that's the other scary part for the whole long. Now, what changed for you now? Now that it rallied 100 million %, 150%, now you feel better about it. You feel, if you act on your feelings, you're going to most likely bail these people out. And you're going to say, okay, you guys have been holding a big bag of losses. Let me take it over. So I urge you to contemplate waiting. And here's my problem with the whole market. For the S&P to break out now, that means that this is also breaking out. And that is just wrong beyond belief. That whole thing. It is wrong beyond belief. And I called the debacle in Nvidia down here. I said, this is my target. Look at where it went. I promise you, I'm on record. You can find it. This arrow was here before this happened. So I know what I'm talking about. And then this, what? No. So for this to happen, for the S&P to break out, we need super bad news on Nvidia all by itself. So they drop this and they buy something else. Otherwise, I think the market is going to have a hard time for the next couple of weeks. And that's not my scenario. But this one makes me believe like a drop in the S&P this week would make sense. So to drop this down to here and then get long here if you want to. If now you're chasing Nvidia, and let me ask you this. No, let me tell you this. If Nvidia is rallying from here, chances are the S&P is rallying. And I would rather get long the S&P or the Qs. Okay, so like why does that one person want to buy the stock here? Because they feel like it. If you look left, look at that death candle right there. If you twist my arm, I would short it responsibly. I would sell a call spread and buy a put spread. Maybe sell 2 calls and buy 1. No. How would I want to do that? Okay, sell 2 puts and buy 1 put. So I would short it, but like only for a dip. Like I think that, the company makes good product, but it's way overpriced at this point. And I'm chasing late. I'm not saying that it's too expensive or value-wise. I'm chasing late. So the breakout from here has a target that was almost here. So this is an inverse head and shoulders that broke out. So this is technically the upside potential of it. So if I move this from here to the breakout point, look at it, almost clinical where they got to. If now you're starting, you're going to dip. You're vulnerable. This is a perfect describing word, vulnerable for a dip. And when you bounce, you get the second dip. This T2, so this is a harmonic. This is a harmonic. And this pattern ended here. It says short from here somewhere. Wait for confirmation. If I get a circle like this one here on Monday or Tuesday, this thing is a good for a short. And then a bounce, and then this. Whoops, not all the way down to here. Somewhere around here.
Yep. So you'll go through this with everybody. Like if anybody has any question about a trade, I mean, how cool is it that, what type of commitment, Nick, from you?
Yeah.
Well, for us to be here on a Sunday, but you always do the Sundays every Sunday. So you
So
6 days a
this
week.
is where I get notified from Benzinga. Hey, want to do a webinar? I don't even ask when or anything. Yes. Yes. Because I like doing this stuff. So here's somebody's asking for Meta. I'll tell you my whole feeling about Meta. I don't have any confidence in their management. Okay. They lost all of my respect when they got accused of cheating during their whatever Analytica disaster. So this is a scenario where back then, if you look it up, and you should read what that said, and I'll tell you what I saw. Analytica, is a company that broke Meta Facebook's rules at the time. Facebook advertisers pay for data of people's parameters, not people's names and numbers, but this person, this account likes to look at these things and that thing, so you can push this kind and that kind of advertising. And this company took that data and sold it. They're not supposed to. So they resold the data they weren't supposed to sell. So they called it a data breach. It wasn't a breach. It was a customer who broke the rules. So the only thing that Facebook did wrong is not take that customer and put it in the town square and say publicly. They just didn't say anything about it. So they were labeled like they had a data breach and they tried to cover it up. And the company said, oh, okay, we will hire 20,000 people to start reading through everything. What? Yeah, they should have stood up and said, you know what? Fine, we didn't tell you about it, but we didn't do anything wrong. We're not going to change our behavior. We will promise you next time we will tell you about it and move on. That's what Steve Jobs would have done, right? Remember Antenna Gate? He said, stop crying about it. Here's another case that will solve this antenna problem that you had. Remember that one? Yeah, that's how a strong company would act. This one, coward, hid, complied, spent millions hiring 20,000 people to read through posts and start judging which post deserves what. So, and more recently, the P&L is shrinking. That is a very big concern, but apparently only to Nick. Nobody else is concerned that the sales are shrinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Look into it. I thought I saw the last 2 quarters in Facebook shrinking sales. Look at that. 3 quarters. What the? No, cash. Okay, so total revenue shrinking for 3 quarters. No one's concerned? This is a growth company that stopped being growth. Look. Is this the first 3 quarters ever where it shrinks in sales? Nobody's concerned. I am. And I'll tell you what, it totally makes sense. It makes sense that now you hear Meta's firing people, cutting costs. You know why? Because management sees this coming. It's like they're going to have a shit quarter, and they're going to headline is going to say Meta beats analyst estimates on earnings. That's not sales. That's the bottom line. So they want that headline. And when that headline comes out, it masks the fact that it's going to shrink again. I think they're going to deliver a horrendous quarter. Hopefully I'm wrong. But there's a chance that they will deliver a horrendous quarter. And here's how it could play out. The machines will buy the pop because the machines are programmed to look at earnings, whether it's a growth company or not, which is asinine. And they will pop on the fact that, it beat earnings estimate by a mile because they cut corners everywhere and they stop spending. And then people will take a minute or two and say, whoa, wait, the sales shrunk 10%? And then it's going to fall like a rock. So if I was a gambler, I would take a half position bearish for the earnings and add to it after the earnings pop and see if I can make it a bearish play on earnings. Strictly trade, not investment, not giant money, just to win the logic game. So if I have a small account, I wouldn't touch it. But if I had some money to throw at a fund trade, I would try to short it through the next earnings. Half before the earnings by buying small put size position or put spread, and the other half after the fact if I'm wrong and it pops. So we'll see. It has extremely strong reaction these days based on, I think, I'm not sure, but you might know better, on the proposition that TikTok will be banned in the US. I think TikTok is a non-issue for Meta, but that's also, I'm not an expert in that field. So, but that's my logic on Meta. I would not go long. If you ask me for long, I think if it's rallying, the S&P is rallying, or Tesla or Apple is rallying. Apple technically is broken out. Why not ride something that has quality? Apple looks kind of like Meta with a little breakout from here. So here's a statement on Apple. Between that and Meta, Apple is, if it closes this week above 157, say definitely 160 or higher, 157 or higher, it has a chance to get to 171. So why? Because they just broke out. Look, here's a stock that went from here to here, consolidated, and is just broken out from the consolidation. So they tend to go as much as where they came from. So let's say they give them credit from here to here. So what, eyeball something like resistance right there. And also this is an inverse head and shoulder pattern that broke out last week. If they come down here, test it, confirm the breakout, this is the upside potential. I wonder if they meet. Let's see if they both meet. Let's try it this way. I'll short it a little bit. Perfect. Yep. So between this and Meta, I would prefer this one. Doesn't have the same problems. Okay. Generac, I don't trade. That's a seasonal thing. I don't know why you trade that. If you own it as a stock, just stay true to your thesis. So did you buy shares? Are you investing in the company for the long term? Then you're at a base of sorts, so you're not making a colossal financial mistake. So, but that is concerning. Okay. So this is the pandemic level. I want to remind you all, this is a sobering thing. I've mentioned this in the chat room last week, multiple times last week. Actually, Friday, listen to this. In the live room, we had a discussion about Apple. I said, as attractive as Apple shows, I can see a scenario where Apple comes down to $90 this year, maybe in the next couple of months. What? You just told me it's going to 172. I said, no. If it stays above blah, 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 it goes to 171. But there is a scenario that brings Apple almost to 2 digits, and I'll show you how. And this is the same conversation here. This is pre-pandemic level, okay? The world was perfect here. And I want to remind everybody, in case you started trading here, this here was an astonishing all-time high that happened out of nowhere and against all odds, including Apple. Out of nowhere, stocks spiked. It's like somebody knew. If you're a conspiracy theorist, go back to November and see the action between November and December before the pandemic, especially in stocks like Teladoc, which spiked before the pandemic. Somebody knew this was coming. I guarantee it. But anyway, so there was a huge spike in all stocks out of nowhere and wasn't explainable. And I was saying, wait, at that time, we started getting the pandemic, the virus breakout in China, and China canceled TET. So they canceled a whole month worth of festivities. And the market is making all-time highs, including Chinese stocks at the time. It's like something's up, right? And the collapse happened after that. So let's look at Apple from the chat room's perspective. Okay, that's the benefit of having the chat room. We have discussions that are not super fast. This was a big picture discussion on Apple. I said, let's zoom out on Apple. Okay, let me take out my lines, which, by the way, look at this line and this line. Yep. So these are there, I promise you, before the actual breakdowns happened. Look. All right, so this is a stock of Apple. If you're asking me about Hive when I'm telling you Apple could be to 2 digits, Philippe, Français, I urge you to just do this for a second. You're asking me about Hive when I'm telling you Apple could be 90. You should be listening why Apple and how Apple could be 90. Because if Apple is at 90, Hive is probably at 0. Not really, but everything is going to fall. Apple has no fault of its own, and it has more money than God, and has all the customers they want, no sales problems. If Apple is in the 90s, the S&P is in the 2000s. So Hive is definitely shellacked 50% or 70% from where it is right now. So listen to the reasoning here, then we'll talk about Hive. So check this out. Okay, so I drew this based on the loss of a head and shoulder right here. This is a head and shoulders that's this big. Okay, so if we lose this year's low and last summer's low, whatever that time was, Apple will be in the 2 digits. It's a guarantee. And the way it would happen is headline, boop, they go below. They try to recover. They can't recover 130. They come back, lower lows, they bleed lower. And this continues on lower until they hit 90 or so. Look at this. And guess what? They'd still be above the pandemic high right there. That's the pandemic high. And this pandemic high, which is so much below current price, over 50% below current price, was an all-time high in a violent way. So I had that full discussion on Friday, scared the bejesus out of everybody, brought everybody from the cloud, because as soon as we feel the market's rallying, I start getting the sample from how the markets are thinking, because I'm talking to 300 people who are listening to me all day, and they get wrapped up in the, what do I buy? What do I buy? What do I buy? And then we get another headline. He gets smacked in the face. I added to longs. Why did you add to longs? You can find some longs, but you don't add to what you have. Okay, so hopefully I sobered you up on this one. This is 2018. You know what this is? Can anybody tell me what was going on here in this stent that is going on now? Can anybody tell me? Take a guess. I also discussed that in the... Yes, Robin. This was a tightening cycle from Mr. Powell. And then he broke the world right here, and he had to cut rates and restart the QE. If you were with me last year, what did I say in June, July? What did I say when the market collapsed in June based on words from Powell? I said, if Powell does what he wants to do, he's going to break something. He's going to be cutting rates in December or February. I was a month too early. Now there's talk about him cutting rates because he broke the world. So this was a Fed correction. This time it was bigger because the rally was bigger. There's nothing more, nothing less. Right here, the difference also was his boss was telling him to cut rates. Yeah. The president of the US back then was telling him to cut rates. And everybody said, no, 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 no. And then, whoop, he cut rates. Nobody's telling him to cut rates now. No, he's got full reign. There's no boss. There's just nobody saying anything. There's no financial leadership, whoever is supposed to lead right now. Even like bank experts like JP Morgan, Buffett should come out and say something, because I bet you they have better opinions than me. They know more than me. So, Philippe, you're welcome. Now we can look at Hive. So, blockchain technology. Okay, so are you trading it because you like crypto? I'll tell you a true story. Okay, so I nailed the crypto for the group from the high. I said it's going to retest the low 20s, maybe even 19. It went there. I said I would go long. I did. I delayed my entry until we nailed almost the bottom, and I'm on record. You can go in. I said the following, Philippe, and I want you to pay attention to this one and consider it. The best trade on Bitcoin is one ticker, BITO, B-I-T-O, and I'll tell you why. I nailed the price action in Bitcoin. I made a lot of money on crypto. I don't know if I will have my money. Why? Because my money is in a crypto account with Crypto.com. If Crypto.com goes bankrupt, like the other one did, FTX, I don't have anything, right? The crypto went. So recently, I started entering trades in BITO. So if I can nail the chart of crypto and I eliminate the risk of my bank failing, I'm safe. So the safest crypto trade is to do BITO. But it doesn't take advantage of the fact that crypto is crypto and not controlled by the Fed. So that's the difference, the pros and cons. So do you want to be off the Fed's balance sheet, or do you want to be safe from being bankrupt via an FTX scenario or SVB or Silicon Valley, whatever that's called? So I entered a BITO trade for the group in the 11s. And last time I checked, it was in the 16s. So it's pretty good trade. So here, this stock has a bad selling point right here. So the closer you enter 4, the harder it is to start longs, but the more exciting it becomes, because if you take this out, you get to here, but that's putting the cart before the horse. You do have support. So now you have ping pong situation between these two on Hive. So you're going to have to time your entries on lower time frames. 3.6 is a big seller. So I wouldn't start longs here. All right. If you like the volatility, then use Beto. It's great. There's nothing more volatile than Bitcoin. There, look, my arrows prove it. Look at that. That was my target. Look at where it went. So does that convince you, these arrows? I don't lie, because I can't lie. I share these charts every week, all day in the chat room, and then twice on Sunday. And literally, I'm on record. Everything I breathe, I'm here talking for 8 or 9 hours a day, sometimes more. And so I can't be BSing my way around things. There are enough questions for me to not run out of topics. And anyway, so when do I close my crypto trade? When Bitcoin hits 44, 42 to 46, I will exit. I'm long from Ether under 900 for Ethereum for me, the coin for Ethereum. Solana in the 10s, 11s, and 12s. Beto less than 11 for me, because I bought and then I sold puts that were never assigned. So my entry point is a lot lower than 11s. What else? That's it. I don't own Bitcoin at this point. Ahlan Marlene. Marhaba. Moderna, early 2020, and my average is about $40 per share. I went as high, and I dumped a lot then, but kept half. Now they are around 150 due to cost. Okay. Do you see medical having a chance to blow up again? Okay, so that's a good legitimate question. Let's talk about that. Shopify, I'm long, and I'm closing my long soon. And I'll talk about Shopify after that. So I love this question. Look, Scral, I don't know your name, offered me all the information I need. So I love it. They say, hey, help me decide on this. And they gave me every pertinent information. So this is Moderna stock chart daily for about a year. Okay, so this is about a year's worth of data. They gave me all the parameters. Their entry price is 40. Nice work. They dumped a lot when it was 400. Nice work. And they kept half, and they're still up. Oh, idiot. They didn't sell at 400. Well, hindsight is pretty easy, but they're still making from 40 to 150. Nice work. So technically, you could get to 170 just based on this chart. But if you're worried about it, have you considered selling covered calls? If you have more than 100 shares, you can sell covered calls against it. What? Here's a mini lesson. So this is where I would say, pay attention. If somebody tuned out the fact that it's Moderna and they don't want to deal with it, pay attention to the lesson, okay? So Moderna reports on May 11th. I don't like to trade these stocks because every day it's a headline potential. It's like having an surprise earnings report that could happen every day. So be careful with that. So if I have 100 shares and I'm looking to get rid of those shares, okay, I can sell calls against those shares and make money. How much money? A ton of money. Let me see. This week is the 31st, right? So this is an options chain that shows one stock. Everything on this page is Moderna. And this side is calls and this side is puts. Don't worry about what they mean right now. I'm trying to help one person here trying to make money. So let's say it is 151 already today. And let's say on Monday it opens around here. And they look at it and they say, you know what? I don't mind selling them at 155 or 157. So what they do is they go out and say, I'm going to collect $230 for the chance of selling one covered call. I don't do this unless I own shares. Let me repeat this. I do not do this unless I own shares. Otherwise, I'm open to being short a very violent stock that could break me. Don't do this unless you own 100 shares and you want to sell them. Okay. So this trade gives me $230 per contract per 100 shares. And what happens? By Friday, if price is at or below this, most likely these will die for zero. And what happens then? Nothing. I made $230 and I still own my shares. I can repeat it for the week after. So the week after now is more expensive because it's got more time on the clock. So in this case, I would take it higher and collect $200, but it's to 260. So now it can run to 260 and not be called away. Let's say I don't mind being called away in the next month. So I go to April 21st. I can make $500 if I want to sell them at 160. If I want to sell them right here, right now, I'll collect $800. What does that mean? I sit for 20 days or between now and the middle of April. And if nothing happens, I would have made $800. And if the price is around here, I can just sell my shares on that Friday and would have made an extra $800. If the stock falls, I'm covered $8 and that's it. If it falls below than $8, then I would have been better off selling my shares on Monday. Okay, so on Monday, if price opens right here, I can make $800 to say, I'm out of my shares of 152.50 this month. If not, I made $800. So if the stock falls more than $8 lower, then I'm covered until it hits 144. So when it hits 144, that's my break-even point. And below that, I should have sold my shares today. I hope this helps. Whew. Shopify. So I like Shopify. I sold a put spread on the dip and I shared it, and it made us $95 per contract. I'm speaking from memory. It's here on the chart somewhere. So it made us money before, and I said rinse and repeat. Yep, $96. So on some day here on one of these dips, I said I'm going to catch the falling knife of Shopify because I do believe in their fundamentals. And we collected about $1 for a $4 risk. So 25% almost would be the reward as long as Shopify is above 34. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to close this week. Why? It's pennies now to close. So most of the winnings have already materialized, and I need to take the risk off the table by buying it back. So I collected a credit to open that trade. I would spend a little bit of money to close it to get the risk off. Why? What if it comes out like Square? What if Hindenburg releases a report against Shopify? It goes an easy trade, it goes to be a loser. Also, I'd save 20 cents. No, close it. That's what I would do. Shopify is great as far as a company so far. The upside potential catalyst is if you take out 47.5, I think you can get to 50. Arguably, you can say it's doing a rounding bottom. This was the target. Do you believe me now that we know what we're doing with charts? Check it out. So when it was up here, I said, what if they're drawing the right shoulder? And this can happen to here. And look what happened. And now what? This is an important stint. So if you're into pitchforks, you can probably draw a pitchfork here. So this is the upper end of the channel. This is the lower end of the channel. Maybe they're buying dips inside that channel now. I would exit anywhere in this area here from a trading perspective. So the mode here, if you're a fast trader, is to buy dips, not to chase. And this is a dip into a prior support zone. So if the markets hold up this week, this is a good starting point for a 2-week, 3-week swing. Okay.
And good question. Yes, you can actually private message Nic in the live room. So if
you're nice to me, I'll answer you.
You can work on, all these strategies, personal trade, custom trades.
Anything you want. Anything you want. If I agree with it, I'll share it. If I don't agree with it, I'll mention it and I'll say, this person has that idea. I don't agree with it, but if you do, you can take the trade. And some people do. I'm not God, I'm pretty good with charts. I'm pretty good with options. I'm pretty good at seeing things. Like, as you probably have heard, people don't talk about gold and all of this stuff like I do, like oil. Today, I had a discussion with a member that's probably 15 minutes long on oil. How I was right about it all the way, and up until now, people still make fun of me, even though I'm right about it, made money about it, and price went where I thought it would, and people still doubt it, and they call me crazy. And every time they make a couple of dollars on a long trade in oil, they look at me like they beat me. I was like, dude, you don't realize that you're now 25% lower than when you started, and you're still trying to catch the falling knife and making $2 here and there. Anyway, so oil companies are great. Well, my beef is with the oil price, which they're completely dependent on the oil price. PEs on oil companies will go through the floor in an instant if we have an oil correction, because they have zero control over the price of their asset. So they sell oil. If OPEC brings oil back to 50 or 55, which it will this year, I'm confident, then what do? Nothing. Your sales fall through the floor, and if you don't adjust your spending accordingly, your PE will go through the roof. So that's not a good thing.
Yeah, and I know some people that also, I mean, you also cover natural gas. Michael, yes.
Yes. NG, I don't trade it. I did trade it twice for the group, made money twice. That was insane, but I wouldn't do it. But if I would do it now, couple of, I'll do SE in a second. Is that C Unlimited? Hernandez?
No, he's saying
no say. Okay. Okay. So, that means you're the opposite side of my trade on oil, which is you're entitled to your opinion. I promise you. I'm not a hater of oil. I have my thesis and it's worked out. I'll show you how it worked out. Shoot, what were we talking about? What was the ticker?
We were talking about natural gas.
Natural gas, yes. Okay. Yeah. So Bill, same Bill from the chat room, he asked me, I swear to God, maybe 3 or 4 credit put spreads a day. What do you think of this credit put spread? And I finally said one time, Bill, how many trades do you have on? No, I don't take all of them. I was like, okay, so I guess you're keeping me on my toes then. But it's good, because if I answer Bill 15 times, I may get 3 ideas out of them. In fact, a trade to go long natural gas twice came from him. He's on me. What do you think of Boyle? And it's like, oh, for crying sake, forget Boyle. I said I wouldn't trade Boyle, trade UNG, and I gave him advice on how to trade UNG, and we did pretty good trades with it. So now people are coming to me and saying, what about UNG now? I was like, boy, that is a violent ticker. And they're saying, well, it's an all-time low. I was like, I don't think so. You need to go to a natural gas futures in order to see where it's been before, because I think UNG is young. So now you see that it's not an all-time low. Look how much lower natural gas went before. I remember those natural gas companies almost went out of business. What is it, Cheniere? So it can go much lower. So now what? Well, technically, okay, you have support and you have a violent rally coming, maybe. So what I would do is I would just buy shares, not go all in, and set a stop. So if you risk $1,000, I said, in fact, here's what you can do. If you want to go long UNG, if I risk $1,000 getting calls in UNG, why don't I risk $100 buying puts in UNG in case I'm completely wrong and it collapses 10% one day? Then I have time to unwind the whole thing with less damage. Why? The shorter dated puts will explode higher faster than I'm losing money on my shares, or calls for that reason, that are out in time. So set yourself up to be hedged. This is a stock where it deserves to be hedged. So that would be how I would play UNG. If you're thinking there's a bounce coming in natural gas, first of all, think twice. Second of all, just hedge your bet and don't go all in, and use shares. Avoid Boyle. It's not as liquid as this one, I don't think. And this one is easier. Boyle is 3 times as fast as this one, and natural gas is super fast anytime. So why do you need accelerated fast things? It's just too much. Okay.
Nick, really quick, Michael, Jessica here. Just want to give a big shout out here to our newest family members. That
Jessica, more girls. Yes, we have a lot of girls in the room, and they're starting to contribute more, and which means the opinions are truly representative of what's out there in the entire market. We now have a bigger community than before, which gives us an honest cross section of what everybody's thinking and feeling out there. So my goal is not to impose my will on everybody, but to although I sound like it, sometimes. And I'm getting better at not sounding like it. I don't mean to. But I'm opinionated and I present my opinion. And if you convince me I'm wrong, I will accept it and move on. It does happen. It just takes a little screaming. So anyway, welcome. I'll see you tomorrow. Tonight, what do you look forward to, Jessica, was it? I do have a video. I just renamed it. I used to call it Strategic Market Update. It didn't have a good ring to it. Nobody was, not enough people were looking at it. So now I'm renaming it for the weekly game plan. How will I approach this week? What's the game plan? What's the goal? And by the way, every day I tell you, here's what's happening today, 3 sentences, and then 3 sentences, what I'm doing today. Short term, I'm doing this. I'm buying calls. I'm closing the calls I bought, closing the longs I bought. Number 2, I'm still looking to buy the dip or not. And number 3, something else. So I use rallies to fix broken trades. So I tell you every day what I want to do for the day. And at the end of the day, in the live room, I'll go in and say, let's see if we did what we planned on doing. And we'll see, okay, yep, we did it. So
right. So all right. So let's just give them a big shout out. Let's go. All right. And let's do a little rapid fire here with Nic Chahine.
Wait, I need to finish the USO. So he said, what did I see? Sure. That's for Hernandez, the person that says no say. Let me see if I can prove it to you. Okay, here we go. So follow the logic. All right. So from up here, they lost Head and Shoulders that brought them down to here. And then I said on the rebound, the green arrow, I think they're going to draw the right shoulder and have the Head and Shoulders that does this, right? You see it right there? I can make it fatter to show it to you. See that? Okay. And then repeat the same. Look, if you do this, check it out. This stuff is just brutally fun. And then the rally. So I said, if they lose this, this is the target. And they're still trying to avert that. And guess what? They couldn't. So here's what I added these today. These 3 lines on the 2 lines on the circle I added today. So so now you know what I saw, how oil could have gotten to here, correct? With me guessing from here that it would bounce and fail, come back and lose that and make a new low and come to here. You got it so far. Okay. And then they lost that. And then once they lost that, I said, this is the target. Unless they recover. They recovered. They recovered. Nope. They gave it up again. Look, follow it. They gave it up again. Recovered. Nope. 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 Oh, whoosh. Then they lost support. So now they need to recover one problem. And if they do, they need to recover the second problem. Look at the mountain of volume they just lost. These bars right there. So between here and here, for this period of time, the biggest amount of volume is here. And it's a cloud right there. Tons of volume. So first of all, they lost the consolidation zone. They'd be lucky to stop here, in my opinion. I think oil will be in the 55s, if not low 50s in this chart. And the CL, you can contribute, you can extrapolate that same scenario to the CL. So I said, we might have a bounce on oil. Headline, skirmishes in the Middle East, something fired on the Strait of Hormuz or whatever. And then there's a decision to be made. Go back and start an ascending channel, or come back down and lose this one down there. So this is pretty exciting stuff from a chart perspective. And if you're upset that I'm saying this, think about it this way, folks. If this happens, inflation is going to be crushed. Why? Everything you buy touches diesel. It needs diesel to be made, gets transported on trucks to get delivered to you. Shipping rates will collapse even more. This is how the government should have been fighting inflation, not by crashing it. So it is un-American for a country to have a plan to destroy its own economy in the name of controlling inflation. I understand how hurtful inflation can be, but tell you what, I would rather my family overpay for milk, and not my personal family who are not doing well, than to have no job, okay? Because that was Powell's plan, destroy the economy so that they can control inflation. How about you destroy oil prices? and they totally can destroy it with words. The White House can come out and say a few words to hurt oil and doesn't even do anything about it. Just say, we're going to, put the ESG thing on hold for 6 months or 8 months. Just on hold. Trust me, the Earth has been here for billions of years. It's not going to make a difference. 6 months here or there, it's not going to make a difference. So they can combat it with words, but that's politics for you. Neither here nor there. So this is a good thing. If this happens to oil, inflation, then did you hear Powell last week? What did you hear? I heard him say that, hey, what's going on, it's doing my job for me. This bank thing is doing my job for me. Oil's crashing, that's doing my job for me. So now he's close to being done. Maybe he raises one more time. Some people think he's going to cut. I hope he doesn't, but some people think he's going to cut. I want the Fed to be out of the market. You've already raised it. Just walk away. Just do nothing. When in doubt, just do freaking nothing. Don't touch anything. So this is the price of crude oil. Same thing. They lost the neckline. It's going to be difficult to come back into that. So, and let me see if I can give you a longer time frame on this one. Okay, so check this out though. This green M right here, this giant green M, has a rebound rally to 95. So we could have a war come out somewhere and oil will spike because that's a war. That's an event. You can't chart that. I'm not a war expert. I mean, I grew up in a war, but I'm not like a political war expert, say, in the world. I know that things are going wrong everywhere in the world, but I think everybody's poor. Nobody can afford a war right now. Unless China and Russia come out and say, we're going to de-seat the dollar. We're going to vote to take the dollar from being the currency of the world. War the next week. The U.S. will definitely go to war. I hope not. I hope that doesn't happen. Okay, because that'll be the end of the U.S. as far as the dominant force in the world. Okay, happier thoughts. What else is going on? What time is it?
Bob from Canada. Bob has been hovering around here, the chat room. He's basically on the fence, right? So Bob's like, is trading futures?
I remember Bob. I remember Bob.
Yeah, he's here. Bob from Canada.
Canadian, eh? Thoughts on Ford? Yes, I can tell you on Ford thoughts. It's okay entry point. If Ford is committed to being an EV company, I would not get long Ford here for an investment for a long term. They lose money, not them. The only company that's making EV cash is Tesla. And when Tesla lowers price, people sold Tesla stock. I said, you should buy Tesla stock. Tesla is lowering price, not because it has a sales problem. It's because it's crushing its competition. It makes a lot of money selling cars compared to its competition. So Nick, Ford. What?
Yeah, on the fundamental. Well, I mean, it's about Tesla, but basically, I know you mentioned one time that the mining for the batteries pollutes more than what a car would. Is it something like that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So if you think you're doing the planet a favor by switching to EV, I think your footprint grows first before it levels off. And overall, it probably would take 10 years for you to be. I'm not an expert. Do your own homework, and I'm going to set you on the right path. I don't have time to mess around with this nonsense. Is that you will end up maybe in the long term doing good, but consider this: batteries are great garbage right now. It's amazing garbage destruction. We can't recycle much. Like we can't recycle a plastic bottle, let alone a battery, to make it efficient for the planet. To manufacture lithium, to manufacture a battery, you need, what is it, lithium? How do you mine lithium? Giant trucks. How do you ship lithium? Probably giant trucks. I don't know if you can pipe it anywhere, but I'm not a lithium expert. But I'm assuming Caterpillar. Why is Caterpillar stock going through the roof? Probably because of that. So it's going to take so many more batteries to be produced, which I don't think we have the technology. Something drastic has to change in the EV world in order for the EV to be the solution. So somebody like Toyota is going to, or Honda is going to come out and say, we've solved it. We now have a solid state battery, which what is QS is trying to do, but they don't have one yet. They don't have one right now. There's liquid separating the anode from the cathode in the battery. So you have junk collecting on one side like stalactite and stalagmite, and then it pierces, and then when it touches, explosion. That's how the batteries catches fire. That's a simplified view of it. Well, the solid state batteries, they have solid separating the two plus and minus sides of the battery. So then there's less likelihood of that, actually probably no likelihood of that. And they're probably smaller in size. I don't know about weight, but definitely smaller. So if we get that, okay, now we have one problem out of the way. But they haven't been able to do that for an EV load, under load in temperatures. So I think the EV story is going to turn into a hybrid story. So partly EV, partly this, partly that. I think it's going to end up being that. I don't think, if you ask me, I mean, the earth is important. Trust me, my brother is a big activist in it. He runs a recycling center, volunteers, by the way. He's a surgeon. So I'm on that fence. We want to protect our environment. But I think we can't destroy it. We will be bucked off the planet long before we're able to destroy it. And we'll probably eat ourselves off the planet if you listen to Bill Gates. Go research that video. What did he say? Okay. Anyway, back to reality. AMC, I did that today. I can do it blindfolded, but I'll pull up the chart. It's like, yeah, we'll solve that problem with, you know what, that problem will take care of itself. Okay. So AMC has been dying for a long time, if you believe the chart, before the pandemic. And I don't like how management is loosey-goosey with the rules. They spun off, this is the AMC that spun off into Ape, right? And they basically opened a bank for them. Anytime they need cash, they issue more shares, and they get cash on the behalf of diluting the people who love them the most, the people that went with the Ape. I think that's the same company. Anyway, this chart is pretty hideous. And if you make a new low, there's no reason why it doesn't fall below 2. I guess it's been there not long ago. Holy crap. Okay. So this company could go out of business, could file for bankruptcy, could do whatever. It's not a good story. I think if I was the CEO, I would propose something like, I don't know much about their business, but wouldn't it be fun if they turn, I'm going to the movies tonight, by the way. I'm going to see John Wick. So wouldn't it be nice if they turn one of their theaters, like in some high kid area, into like esports arena? I bet you pack the place. You would pack it. You would have some sort of a special on Wednesday and on the weekend, tournaments everywhere. You would pack them. And if you have like some sort of a hologram between two theaters, it'd be great. I'm thinking outside the box. That would be reason to chase the stock. If you're investing in this company because you believe in the CEO and the whole story from the pandemic, don't be a sucker. Do your homework. Study the financials. Let's do it now. Let's look at it. We'll go to the annual financials. So we had 2016, we're looking at sales. 3.2 billion, 5 billion, 5.5 billion, 5.5 billion. The pandemic, you don't blame them. We shut down the world. We're not back to half of the 2019. We are back to, we're still 20% down. I'm doing air math, more than 20% down to 2019 with our running trailing 12 months. That's what that is. So for the last 12 months, so everything is open for those last 12 months and business as usual. And the tickets have never been more expensive. So that total revenue has incredibly high inflation. So it's inflated. So if inflation falls, this number is going to fall just from that fact. And let's see, net income. Okay, so positive. So let's go look at the cash flow situation. If I go on a yearly basis, it used to flow $500 million cash flow, and then the pandemic lost $1 billion, 600 in the year after, 600 in the year thereafter. They're still running on a 600 million deficit in cash from operations, which means what? In order to deliver those sales, whatever they did is resulting in a big negative number that they did not have before. So they're still not back to healthy. They used to be positive $500 million almost, and now they're negative more than $500 million. So there's still something going on. They're bleeding cash somewhere. So from an investment perspective, I would be very, very cautious. But if it's a very speculative investment and you want to sell it on a spike, by all means. But that's a trade, not so much an investment. If you bought it at 13 and you're looking to double down now, the only reason I would say it's okay is if you didn't go all in at first. But if you took a $10,000 bet and that was all what you had, and to double it now, I don't want to be the one to say it's okay to do that. Rivian, I spoke about it, Tamara. I took a wild card on it. I'm down a little bit on it. I sold a put at 15, part of the credit put spread, and it's under fire. And if they assign me shares now and I have to sell the shares, I would probably lose 0.5. So maybe if I did 10, $500, we'll see. Over the long term, I live in Southern California, so cars are fancy where I live. And I went to a comedy club yesterday. I saw 2 or 3 Rivians, one right next to me on the street and 2 around me. And I even saw 2 Polestars, maybe 3, which is that Volvo Adventure EV, and 6,000 million Teslas, and even a Hyundai Genesis plug-in EV, and no Lucids. And so Rivian is one of the ones that is selling. Of course, this is their neighborhood. I mean, they came out of the area where I went. That was in Irvine. So I think their headquarters is here in Irvine, so 10 minutes away from my house. They are making cars and trucks and vans. My concern is that they're on the outs with Amazon. I think I don't have proof, but they issued stock convertibles, notes to stock if they want that. So they must have gone to Amazon and asked for more money, and Amazon said no more money, and they said, okay, well then we're going to bring in new buyers, and so that's not good for Amazon. How about options play on Nokia? I don't know anything about Nokia, so let's go look. Nobody's asked me about Nokia in months. I mean, what kind of options play? Let's go see if there are any any interest in the stock. It's not very liquid. Look, there's not much action. If I go to the April monthly, 12,000 puts. I'd say if the bell is going to ring now, let's say this was today's expiration, I would say it closes at 4.7, where it's at. So there's no reason to rally or fall from the options perspective. So if you think the stock is going to rally hard, then you own shares, because or you buy at the money calls, or you sell puts to own shares. So I had good information here. This didn't happen, thank God. I could argue for 550 in the next month if you have the markets rallying, because it could be rounding the bottom here. And if they take this out, by the way, what's going on here is what goes on all day, every day. All day, every freaking day. This is what we just had. AMC, discussions go sideways, and then lessons along the way. If you take this area, you break out, and then you start making higher lows and higher highs, and you start buying dips. It's not that exciting for me, but it's doable. Okay, we've been here 2 hours and 5 minutes, according to my clock. How about we wrap this up? I need to go. I have some stuff to do.
It's been a great session here, and time flies. Time flies when you're having fun, man. You know what they say, right?
I am having fun, and I'm gonna have this much fun tomorrow in a few hours. So I would like some unfun period in the middle.
Give us a recap then, basically, of what the options inner circle is for those that are just tuned in here, and I'll show them it later once you head out. I'll show it to them. But
okay, so here's what you get. You get 100% commitment from me to be able to help you out any which way I can. You get excellent charting. Excellent. I don't back down on that one. Our charting is superior. You get excellent options dissection of the data. If you have time and you want to spend intraday, like pop in and say hello live, I'm there all day. You pop in anytime during the day, you're going to hear my voice, and you're going to get answers right away. If you're not that active and you couldn't get away, you can pop into the chat room here and tell me your thoughts and your ideas. Like, this is not from me. Somebody is putting in some comments. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the write-ups once a week for tonight. You're going to get a video from me, which is a strategy session for how to play this week. And then you're getting an update of it every morning. And you're going to get an update middle of the day with a trade setup if possible. Sometimes I'll say, this is too dangerous, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to wait and see. And throughout the day, you're going to get iron condors, iron butterflies, lessons, diagonals, straight calls and puts, buying shares, buying the futures or selling the futures, some currency discussions, definitely some crypto discussions, and what else? Whatever you want, we can discuss. We don't discuss politics. We don't discuss religions. I've said some things that have political context here, but I promise you it's from the price action perspective, nothing more, nothing less. When I mentioned the 2018, when Powell's boss forced him to cut rates, Powell had pressure. This time he does not have pressure, so maybe he doesn't cut rates. And I think that's the right thing to do, not cut rates. Just stop raising rates. Dude, stop. And let's see what you did, if it's going to show up in the next couple of months. So we guessed his reaction. We guessed his decision perfectly this time. I said, if I had $1,000 delay, I would say he's going to definitely do. That's the only choice he had. He couldn't say, he couldn't hold with no change, because that would have changed policy, and he's not going to do that. So he did a quarter. So anyway, this is what we have. The offering is honest. It's basically, if you're making the commitment to learn and grow, you will have all the reasons to do it. If you don't get it, it's because you either hate me, which is fine, or because you're just not willing to put in any work. You want to be spoon-fed everything. I will hand you all the information you need. I will answer all your questions. All you need to do is just be committed this much. That's it. And you have the whole time to do it, 1 year or 2 year. I think this is their special offering that's incredible. I wouldn't price it that way, but that's Benzinga, and I don't work for them. I just provide the content, and been working with them for over 10 years. So I trust them. They know what they're doing.
Right. No, Nic, you've been helping here. You've helped legitimately tens of thousands of traders, including myself. Right.
Yeah.
So
I helped myself. I got better because I became I'm more accountable. The more people I'm writing to, the more accountable I become. So I don't say much unless I'm fairly confident in the outcome. So only a blind side. And I started this by saying, by sharing two bad trades of late, right? I started this by sharing the Rivian trade, it's under pressure, and the Square trade that's under pressure through headlines, both, not through bad design or anything. It was just a surprising headline. And it's still doable that they can both be profitable.
Right. No, absolutely, man. And big thank you here, Nic, because I know that, again, you are coming out of a private meeting that you have with the chat members already, right? So I know you already have had, some action there today.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen there?
Yeah, I see your screen. So somebody's asking, what platform do I use? This platform you were looking at is TradingView. It's pretty popular. I don't get paid from you using it. I've sent thousands of people to it. In fact, that's what's inside the Benzinga Pro. So if you have that tool, you probably already have this. Thinkorswim has good charts. TrendSpider has good charts. It's what you use. The comments are the same, whether you're looking at them through TradingView or not. So, all right, I'm going to bow out. I appreciate your help, Rodrigo. You're always awesome. And thank you guys and girls for showing up, especially the people in my room. Being here is above and beyond. Arizona lady, thank you. I feel it.
We have Nic Chahine, lucky enough to have Mr. Nic Chahine in the house.
Fadi Shami, Ahlan. One of my best friends, his name is Fadi. All right, yeah. I'm out of here.
Okay. Mr. Nic Chahine, folks, lead trader, lead educator, mentor, best friend at the Options Inner Circle chat room. This chat room, people talk about it all over the world, okay? Because again, remember, we are international, right? We have people from all over the planet. So this is how it looks when you're inside the live room, okay? So we're gonna go over some things here really quick. I'll show you some of the material that Nic has. It's probably better, okay? So you can see there's timestamps, everything. This is our chat room, it's our platform. We did not want to do give you guys like a cheap Discord. There's certain features here that will help you, right? Let me just grab a quick link here. Michael, I'm gonna share that for you. Yes, 2 years, 2 years for the price of one, 2 for 1. And also, if you do want to get a lifetime, you get 2 for 1, and also you get a discounted rate. So don't use it on the checkout. Call me so that I can give you the better price with the discount for the lifetime. Okay, for the lifetime. In this chat room, there's 2 channels, right? Let's just backtrack a bit, right? You go to the dashboard. In the dashboard, you'll have a summary of all of your things, right? Remember, you're going to get 20 email trades per month, separate from the trades on the chat room. And this is where you'll be able to summarize them, right? You can see they're even labeled right here. Look, Charles Schwab, IWM, Disney, JD, American Express, SoFi, Splunk, and it tells you what level it is, right? So there's 3 levels. All those 3 levels separately are about $1,800 for the year, but you guys are getting that included in this annual or the lifetime, whichever one. 20 trades per month sent to you by email. You can also get text alerts if you want. Robin, we only have annual or lifetime for this. You have this chart as well. I know someone was asking about a chart, Ms. Fogel, Dina Fogel. You have this chart available there as well. And this one right here. If you click here, you can it opens up a big full page of a chart. Let me see if I can do that here really quick, just to show you. Yeah, this is going to be part of your subscription, right? Where you can have your charts laid out here, organize them, do technical analysis, everything that Nic was doing, basically. You can see right there on the right side. See that, Dina? Okay. All right. So separately, if you do want to go individually to the trades, you can do that here. Just select and click them. In the dashboard, you'll have a summary, but you'll have a deeper dive on each trade here. Again, back to the chat room, because this is where the action is going on. Once you pop in here, there's 2 channels. These are sound alerts. If you do have, let's say if you're, on your laptop and you want to make sure you're always notified, there's a few things you can do to make sure you're on top of this, right? You can have it open like it is and just look at it with your eyes, right? Or you can have a sound feature here. So, and you can pick which ones you want, like to have the sound. I only have Nic's chat room to give me a sound alert, but you can also have the general chat room give you a sound alert, right? And you can see the bell turns yellow. So people are always, Scott, what's up, Mr. Scott? Posting education material related to trading. It looks like here there's something to shift about the US dollar that Nic was talking about. Which is pretty crazy. But yes, this is information that as a trader, you should know. You don't want to be the one that's asking questions about what happened, right? You want to make sure you can take advantage of what's going to happen, what might or might not happen. Doc, here we have another great member. He's always helping out the new ones. He's not on payroll or nothing like that. There's a ton of great members in the chat room that will help each other. That's just the community that we've built. As a trader myself, I can tell you that I've tried a whole bunch of different chat rooms. I joined pump and dump chat rooms. Unfortunately, all this stuff. So I know that there is some pretty bad stuff out there. I guess some ugly stuff out there, right? When you're new, you really can't tell the difference. So when I launched the chat room with Nic, I wanted this to be different. I wanted this to be a place where you can really learn, really engage, get into that mindset, right? Of not just becoming a better trader, but learning and trading with other people from all around the world, right? That could know more or less than you, but again, you're there for the same reason, to learn, right? So more importantly, don't trade alone. But if you're a new trader, this is perfect for you, because as you start your trading career, which is what it is, you're not gambling, you're not going to the casino. This is a career. It's a full-time or part-time income. or passive income, whichever you want to make it. And if you have a full-time job, you can still take advantage of this. So with the notifications, you have them, you have the app, like you can download the app on your phone on a browser. Like if you have Android or Apple, you download the application and you will get push notifications every time Nic is posting in his chat. So Nic's important messages, everything he will post will come to your phone as a push notification. So you would have gotten notified that, hey, the videos from Sunday are there. These videos from Sunday are the videos from today. Okay. So those are there, right? You can always watch them and you will get a push notification. So you'll know, you'll be alerted, right? That something's happening. Somebody was asking here about the education. Nic has a getting started kit. I mean, this is a must if you're trading options, even if you've been trading options. Check these videos out. What are options, puts, call options? What is a spread, credit put spreads, when to book or set a stop loss, when and how to book profits, what type of trade is best, how to pick what type of trade, right? You can buy calls, you can sell puts, you can do iron condors, you can do butterflies, you can do a lot of different trades. But again, you need to know these things, right? It's all basically part of the arsenal that you will have as an options trader. There's a reason if you're trading options and you're only buying calls and puts, you're not using options like to its full advantage, because that's why people trade options, because there's like 7 or 8 different ways that you can make money instead of just the typical buy and hold, right? So again, these are all, I know it might sound a little overwhelming if you listen to, what is a diagonal spread, but Nic did one recently that was really good and I mean very profitable basically. And honestly, I don't do diagonal spreads, but I'm trying to also, learn, right, all that sort of stuff, because there's so much about options and different types of trades. You always it's better to ask and know and have these things, right? So let's just say if I would be trading full time, I would be in the chat room with Nic the whole day, asking him questions, following up with trades, that sort of stuff, right? And also engaging with the community. Floor says, do the live daily sessions are recorded? The live daily sessions are recorded, yes. Well, I mean, they're not recorded like for you to see like that, but the Sunday sessions are, right? Because in the regular day, Monday to Friday, we're there for 9 hours. There's no such, and if you know of a platform, let me know, but we don't know of a platform that will let you do it and record it for 9 hours. It would just take a long time to upload, to be quite honest. It's 9 hours of video material, basically, and you do that every day. Again, I really encourage you to be live as much as you can, pretty much throughout the whole day, Floor. It's Monday to Friday. So even if you're working 9 to 5, remember you can get the push notifications for the trade, and you can always pop into the chat room on the browser or your laptop, anywhere you are, and talk with Nic. Ask him any questions, private message him. Again, I don't want you guys to be just following the crowd. I really want you guys to learn to become successful option traders. That's my goal here. I want you guys to be as successful as possible, right? And I think that you'll be able to do that with the help of Nic. And of course, with the chat room, you're also going to keep the discount. So even though it's 2 years for the price of one, next year, you're not going to renew. The year after, 2 years later, you will renew, and you'll renew at the same discounted price, right? So it's not going to change on you. The other thing here is that if you're a retail trader, this is probably going to be like the best way that you can actually invest in yourself, right? The best investment decision is an investment in yourself. I think we can all agree with that, right? So that you can make better financial decisions, right? You have to do those for yourself. And that's really, we do a lot of teaching, we do a lot of education, a lot of trading, but we definitely don't want you guys to be trading on your own, like vacuum trading, or social media trading, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it, right? Ultimately, the markets speak a language, and the more that you're with Nic, the easier it will be for you to understand that language, to understand what the market is trying to say. The market is telling you everything. You have the information there. It's how you perceive and collect and connect the points, the data points, right? So in this case, if you are new and you're trying to learn, you can always do that. We have several members in the chat room that are just there for learning, paper trading, if you will, right? Not necessarily with their own money, but they want to start getting ahead, right? I talked to somebody, I think it was Friday. He told me he's retiring in 1 year. So he's gonna start looking into signing up in 1 year. And then he changed his mind when I told him that, well, I mean, you don't want to start cold the next year. You do want to have at least 1 foot in the door. So he's there, he joined, and he's learning and he's getting ready for his retirement, because I told him worst thing that could happen is that you retire, you join next year, and you're losing money when you're retired, when you're living just on Social Security income, right? That'd be a worst case scenario. So then for you to be successful, I mean, of course, you want to get training, you want to get started, right? So he's now a member, actually a lifetime member of the chat room here with Nic, so that when he retires, he's already going to know about options. He's already going to know the strategies, the types of trades, how you can use options. So he's going to know and learn all that stuff now instead of in 1 year. And again, you might be in a different position. Maybe you're not thinking about retirement. Maybe you're working full time, you're already making money, and you want to make some more. That's absolutely fine. That's perfect. This chat room is for you. You will get those trades sent to you, and you will have a professional options trader with you for 9 hours a day. 9 hours a day with a professional options trader, answering your questions, giving you feedback, going over strategies, giving you custom trades, custom trade alerts for you, right? You can tell him, Nic, can you explain what a credit put spread or an iron condor is on Apple? You can private message Nic as well. You can private message your instructor. You can come in and ask any question about anything options related. You cannot do that in any college, in any education course. You cannot just walk up to your teacher and say, hey, teach me this, even if it's not even something you're talking about, right? But we do it. We do it here. We try to help you guys out as much as possible. That's why Nic is there 8 to 9 hours a day. And that's quite a commitment. We're here on a Sunday, okay? We're here on a Sunday. If you're here on a Sunday, I think you're trying to make some money, right? That's the only reason why I think you would be here. It's because you want to become a better trader, or you're trying to learn a few things here to maybe add to your strategy, right? You don't necessarily have to start from scratch. There are people that already have a strategy, and really, they're just trying to get feedback with somebody who's, I guess, has his trading more finessed, if you will, right, like Nic. So in this community, you'll find that everybody is a real trader. There's no fake accounts. There's no bots. Everybody here is a real trader. I can show you here all the members. I've probably signed up like maybe 90% of the people in this chat room. And I can tell you, each and every person that is in the chat room is fully committed to learning, fully committed to being successful as a trader, right? And we all help each other. That's something that I see it every day. I see it every day. We have great members there in the chat that are always helping each other. Capo, Nic is great. Absolutely. Absolutely, folks. So we're going to leave the contact there so that you guys know how to join, okay? But basically, once you get here, right? Once you get here to the live session, I know that some of you guys were asking how to join the live session. So this is the live room, right? This is the chat room. But then separately, Nic has a live session where he's, again, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And this is where you're going to see it, right? You're going to see this post, 7:52 a.m. And that is... what time? I think that, well, it's 8 a.m. Eastern, right? That's Eastern. So that's like 8:20, 7:52 a.m. So 7:52 a.m., this comes out. He has the full market strategy, what he's doing. Again, bullet points specifically on what the strategy is today for short-term trades, longer trades. And again, the link to the live session. This is where you'll need to go. Make sure you put in the passcode. it changes. So always make sure you have the updated passcode. ETFs, very important. SPY, Qs, IWM. We have those charted out, and it's very simple. Very simple. You can open, I mean, I'll just to show you really. Basically, you'll have all the lines set up here, very detailed. So my suggestion for all the people that joined, once you pop in there, the first thing every morning, join the session, of course, but look at these charts and look at the levels that Nic is talking about. Very important. These are little technical analysis, mini lessons, if you will. So somebody was asking about futures, Bob from Canada. We do have future traders in the chat room, actually. And what you see here on the right side, these numbers, this means that this is the support level, and this R means the resistance level. Okay. So all the indexes will have it, the futures will have it. Again, all of these trades will come to you via push notification. All of these trades, setups, everything that Nic is basically posting here, you will pretty much get all of it together. So I'm going to show you guys a video, okay, because you guys have been good today. And before I do show you the video, okay, before I show you the video, just know that the whole point, right? The whole point of this live room, it's really to build an amazing community, to build the largest community of educated, responsible, and successful options traders. So if you have a chance to get into this chat room, you're going to learn from a lot of different traders, include obviously Nic, right? But then there's also other traders that you can learn from, bounce ideas from. And again, it's really the place to do that, right? You don't go to the grocery store or the gas station to talk about stocks or options, right? So this is a dedicated, if you want to call it a safe place, it's a dedicated place to talk about options, stocks, and how to profit from the volatility, no matter what it is. So the information floor, I'm going to put everything there on the chat. Again, if you're watching this here for the people on Zoom, make sure to open the chat. That is where the link is for you to be able to actually sign up, right? Sign up for Nic's live room. And if you have questions, it has my information there and you can call me and we can talk. I'm working on a Sunday too. So you can see every post here is pretty specific and laid out. And let's scroll down. All right. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? Folks on the Zoom chat, let me know. All right, so we have Massimo, Patrick Foley, Paul, Paulia, Philip, Rama, Radio Wave, Prasad, Satish, Sandy Wang, Chahine, Trey Stock, Textbook New York, TC, Mr. Lindbergh, good to see you here on a Sunday, Victor, Wayne. All right, folks, so if you guys are ready, right, let me know in the chat. Bonnie Lou, good to see you. Claudel, Dina still in the house. Mr. Don, Alina. Okay, folks, give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are ready to go and start looking at the video here from the Sunday session from today from Nic. That way we can go ahead and start the video, right? I just need to make sure that you guys don't have any questions here on the room. So I'll give you guys a minute there to post it. Okay. All right, so there's a few hundred people in here. Some people said, yes, we're good. All right, let's go ahead and pull up the videos then, right? And again, to recap what this video is that you're gonna watch. it's Nic Chahine before we met. So we met today at 1 p.m. It's 3:30 p.m. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern, okay? Before that, Nic had a meeting from 10 a.m. till about 12:30, 12:40. So that was the regular Sunday meeting, okay? And you pick the tickers, as you can see right here, you can put form, you send all the tickers, they'll go to a list for Nic, and he will read all of them, each and every one. So you're going to be able to find trade ideas and also get these lessons, if you will, because this is very educational. So as you go through these stocks, you're going to get a sense of how Nic is reviewing and analyzing stocks, right? So let's go ahead and pull this up now so I can show you this for a few minutes at least. You get a sense of it. All right, so we'll give that a little bit of time there to load. I mean, I want to show it to you, but we'll have to wait for this to load a little bit there. What's up, Heidi? Jay Heidi, good to see you. Dan Phillips, what's up? We're just waiting on this to get set up. I think it should be. I mean, I'm just waiting for this to load. Hopefully we'll be able to watch at least some of it. So let's see. We'll have to wait for it. Hopefully it gets done. But Malia, yeah, so if you just joined, make sure to check your email, right? You're going to get a welcome email and it's going to have the information that you need to pretty much, get set up. And as far as any questions that you might have or, anything particular details, you can reach out. I'm going to be clocked in here for a little longer and I'm going to be talking to some of y'all today. I see a lot of people did email in with a lot of different questions. So I will be reaching out to y'all individually on the phone, right? So make sure to include a number if you want me to reach out, like to call you. And yeah, let's make sure that everybody that signed up actually knows, where to get going, started tomorrow, because there's going to be a lot of interesting discussions in about markets, about options tomorrow, on top of the trades and all that stuff. So let's see, what's your question there, Michael? Will you get, yeah, so the trades that you will get by email, so the 20 email trades per month, those are sent by email, right? And they're separate from the chat room. So the trades that you get from the chat room, the daily trades, the daily iron condor, or if we do a covered call, or if we do a credit put spread, or if we're buying calls and like if we're doing active trading, day trading, those are going to be inside the live session. You're going to have to be there to make those trades because they're very volatile. They do require your attention. So it would be irresponsible for me to tell you otherwise, really, to tell you, yeah, just make a trade, buy some calls and, head out to the grocery store. So there's different types of trades for your schedule, really. That's kind of why I wanted to make sure you guys knew that in the live room, you do have the access. You have the option to be able to talk to Nic privately and work on setups, trades that fit you, your strategy, your timeline, your risk profile, and your financial goals. So people might want to get into the markets, make 100 or 200 bucks a day. Well, what do I need to do to get that? What is the strategy that I need to implement? And what's the best way to do it? And then now you have a conversation, a real substantive conversation on how to build wealth, how to make money in the markets, basically. All right. So within the private conversation, of course, you can talk about anything you want, options, strategies, feedback on your trades, anything that you can imagine. Really, Nic is there to be your tutor, your trading partner, give you trade ideas, help you, support you as a trader, and anything else that you need him to be, really. I mean, he's there the whole day. So I'm trying to put this video, but, I don't think it's loading. So let's hope it loads. These are the videos that have the education, the trade setups, what is a call, what is a put, credit put spreads, booking or setting a stop loss, when and how to book profits. So you get all of that information there, right? I think that really my internet is very slow. I think that's what this new laptop that I'm using right now sucks pretty much. So, okay, these are the channels, folks. Unfortunately, we will not be able to show this video, I think, but if you contact me, I might be able to get you something. So I think we've covered a lot here, folks. You will get all the trades, the 20 email trades per month sent to you by email. The push notifications, it's right here. So every trade market commentary that Nic is posting, these all will be sent to you via push notification. And my suggestion is to stop following gurus on TikTok or YouTube for that matter, and really trade with a professional like Nic, somebody that has real experience, right? And it's okay. Sometimes, takes a while for some people to realize that they need help, but you can't really have an ego in trading. That's what I've learned. So you can put that aside and you can get an instructor, a mentor, an educator that's going to help you. Ultimately, you're trying to be successful in this, but I've talked to probably 10 or 12,000 traders since I've started, all this stuff here with Benzinga. And I can tell you that it's the same mistakes that people do. And these people, none of them know each other. They're all living in different countries around the world, around the planet. And I keep hearing the same things, basically the same mistakes that people make, that we all make. You're not the only one that's making. So there is a pattern, okay? That's the pattern. How do you break the pattern? How do you break the pattern? Well, it's very simple. You have to ask the right questions. So when I'm, throughout this time when I've been doing my own anecdotal research here, it turns out that the big majority of these people are trading alone. The big majority of these people are winging it or just trying to figure it out. Like this would be like riding a bicycle, like it's that's really the majority of the things that these people have in common. Really, it's that they're doing it alone, or they're following the wrong people, they're following the crowd. So it's just something that I've noticed. So if you feel that that's where you are right now, where you would like to be more successful, maybe 2022 was not the best year for your trading, and you're trying to recoup some losses from last year. Well, it's time you try something different, because if you keep trying to do the same thing again and again, and you fail every time you do it, it's, there comes a point, again, you got to put the ego aside. So there comes a point where you have to realize that, hey, if you want to do this, you might need a little bit more help. It's okay to ask for help, right? It's nothing wrong asking for help. That's why this chat room is so amazing. That's why it's so great, because we're all there helping each other out. You have 300, 600 helping hands. You have 800 eyeballs there. So having so many people there, right, focused on one goal, one target, which is making money trading, is powerful. It's very powerful when you have hundreds of people working towards the same goal, helping each other out. That's really powerful, right? It's scary powerful. So yes, this is for 2 years, Michael. So you will not renew next year. You will renew in 2 years, and it will be at the same price, right? Unless you do the lifetime. If you do the lifetime, you don't renew. So we need to set proper expectations, folks, because this chat room, the focus of this room, even though we call it a chat room, it's really a lot more than that. It's a community of like-minded traders and investors that are trying to make money analyzing the markets. That's how I would sum it up, right? We're not sharing cooking recipes or nothing there. So again, set proper expectations of what you're trying to do in trading. Are you trying to make 50, 100, 300 bucks a day? What are you trying to do, right? Know that not every trade that you make is going to be a 10,000% winner, right? You will get home runs in the chat room, but again, we're not focused on taking those high risk bets. You have to remember, risk reward is leaving out the most important part of what the whole concept is. Probabilities, risk reward versus probabilities. That's how I would put it. Because the more risk you take, the lower the probability of achieving X amount, right? Your goal, making money basically, right? Either you buy a call or something like that. So the more risk you take, the lower the probabilities of that happening. But again, the reward is higher. So basically that's taking high risk trades. And some people can manage that. Other traders don't even know that's considered high risk trades. They've just been trying to wing it and figure it out. So I've heard all sorts of stories. Again, really, you just need to be straightened out from the get-go. If you're new trading, you really should be in this chat room. You really should be here because there are people that know more, are more advanced in different skill sets that will teach you, will help you, right? It's like, what is the point of like whenever like you need to challenge yourself, basically, right? If you have a good team and they always win, right? They're the best, right? But then let's say it's like if you're playing basketball, right? You're playing against first graders. You're obviously going to win, right? But then if you play against, I don't know, a professional basketball player, you're going to know right away that, hey, I need to improve on these skill sets, right? Because you're being challenged now. So since you're in a room with solid, good traders that are helping each other out, you're going to up your level, right? You need to level up, okay? Don't level down, level up. How do you do that? You trade with a community of traders that are educated, that know what they're talking about, okay? Not just one, not just Nick. There's a lot of people there that have been trading for 20 years or so on their own and 5 years, 10 years. And I'm telling you that if you start hanging around more advanced option traders, by default, you will become a more advanced options trader, right? So it's also about that, being part of that community, right? Being part of the chat room, you're going to be learning from all these people. You're going to be in the conversations. So I think it's great if you're trying to learn, even better if you're trying to trade with this to make income. And of course, you have to put some work into it, but it's really minimal compared to what anything else would require you to put, right? So you get the 20 email trades per month sent to you. Like that's effortless. It comes to you. If you go to the chat room, right? 5-10 minutes, ask Nick a question, pop out, carry on with your day. That really does. I mean, the fact that you have that availability is really what makes it really awesome for you as a trader. Because at any point during the day, whenever you have time, you could pop in, we'll be there. Nick will be there. All these other great traders will be there. So you will always have, it's not like, oh, I can't because it's closed. No, we're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The chat room, and even after it closed, like today, it's Sunday. Look at this. It is Sunday, and there's 58 people online watching, just have the window open with Nick's chat. And there's 71 people here in the inner chat. Look, it's Sunday, okay? What are these people doing here on a Sunday? I don't know. But could be doing a lot of things. Something that I heard from a user that they like to do, and I highly encourage everyone to do, is to scroll through the conversations and look at the conversations. What are the points that these traders are making, and Nick, and what are they talking about? What levels? Why is that level? Why are you talking about that level? Oh, because it's an important level that we were looking at for last week. Like just reading all this keeps you in the loop, right? Of what's happening, what's being discussed. But again, remember, this is open 24/7. The live room is a separate thing. It's like it's like download, you got to download it. It's like a Zoom basically. So you download the thing, it's called free conference call. You download it, you put in the passcode, and it's a totally different live session. It's not what you're seeing here. It's basically like, he's sharing his screen. He's streaming the whole day. Let me see if I can find something here that I can show you. Nick's hot take. Oh boy. Let's see what this is. March 21st. So this is obviously not from, today. Okay, but you get this, right? So in this dashboard, good question, Melanie. These are news. Well, really quick. So Melanie, what you saw there, those are some scanners. Those are proprietary Benzinga scanners. They are only available to people that have the chat room. You will not find these scanners outside of this beautiful place called My Dashboard. That's the only place where you will have those scanners, right? Those are built for traders, and it has a gainers and a losers tab. I can actually go back and show you here. Okay, so you're gonna have top gainers, top losers on the right side here. I don't know if you can see that there, Melanie, but right here, I'm gonna try to highlight it. Top gainers, top losers, right? Again, these are for traders, all right? Now, this is an interesting scanner that we added, okay? We added this as a courtesy, all right? Basically, it's called Why Is It Moving, right? Self-explanatory. Why is the stock moving? We have a group of people, Jeff, let me check. By the way, folks, don't use the Q&A. We don't monitor the Q&A, but let me just look here. Hold up. Just send it to me here, Jeff, or send me an email. Okay, so why is it moving? What is the scanner? Why does it matter? Well, we have a group of people, of highly trained individuals, including one of them, his name is Randy. So big shout out to Randy, always. And Randy's basically scanning markets. So as an example here, Greenbrook TMS shares are trading higher. The company earlier announced 8.25 million equity and debt financings. Okay, so this seems to be a bullish for the company. So what happens? We basically, Randy is scanning the markets, and he will find the news, the item that is causing the price action to move. So it could be that the company reported bad news and it's tanking because of that bad news. So it does not matter if it's bullish or bearish, you will get the scanner, these alerts. That's what it is. These are trade alerts. Okay, we're not even including, like, these are legit trade alerts that you can go off. If you know how to buy calls, puts, or if you just want to buy the shares, if you know how that works already, you just need to get the opportunities in front of you. That's all some of you guys just need. Get the right opportunities, filter the right trades. Well, you have your own proprietary here scanner that we are giving you. So whenever there's price action, volatility on the bull side or the bear side, included, and that, again, it doesn't matter if it's bullish or bearish. Look at this. PopGen shares are trading lower after the company reported Q4 and full year 2022 financial results. They were probably horrible. They probably sucked. So the stock is going lower because of it. We identified that as a possible trade alert for you, as a potential setup. Now, if you want to go and sell covered calls, buy puts, or whatever it is that you do as a trader, that's obviously up to you. But again, having the opportunities flashed in front of you, that's what really can make the difference, right? What's the point of having these skills if you don't have the stocks to apply it to, right? It's okay if you just want to trade SPX with us. We trade at SPX every day. Every single day, we do that daily iron condor with the SPX. We also do covered calls and credit put spreads. But again, if you want to trade individual stocks, because sometimes, I don't want to say we get bored, but sometimes it's if you know the stock, or like, I don't even need to know the stock. If I see a company here, like Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, I know this company. I don't know PopGen. I do know Manchester United. But again, even if you don't know it, right? Even if you don't know what the company does, like, this gives you pretty good idea of like what's happening. Regeneron Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after multiple analysts raised their price targets on the stock following Thursday's announcement that the primary and all key secondary endpoints were met in a phase 3 trial. So if you trade biotech, I mean, again, this is everything out there. So you'll be able to click here as an example, and it'll take you and give you more information, right? And you got the ticker symbol there as well. So that scanner is included, Mr. Baudet. You're asking, is all this included in the price? Yes, all of this, and there's more stuff too. We're going through all of it, but you basically get 2 years for the price of one until midnight. And no matter where you are in the world, so you're welcome to join. Let's see. Yeah, we still have the open enrollment. There will come a point where we don't let new people in, pretty much, and we'll just have to keep doing, maybe some annuals, or we do have a lot of people that do upgrade to the lifetime because it is, it pays off for itself. I guess that's self-explanatory. You're not really buying like a refrigerator here or like an oven. You're legit making an investment in your trading career with a real professional. These are not some pre-recorded lessons from 5 years ago that we're giving you. You have live sessions with Nick, 9 hours, okay? And on top of that, you get all this other stuff I'm showing you, right? So let's just glance through this here really quick. News you can trade. Okay, so again, you have more news here. And these centers as well on the right side. These are the top gainers of the day. These are the top losers of the day. And again, you can filter this, right? You can use just the gainers one. You find these stocks and you can start working there, right? But that's the first thing, get the opportunities in front of you. So if you see something here, I like this scanner a lot. This scanner is actually, like, it's not free, I'll tell you that. Like it is included for you, like at no cost, but in general, this scanner is not free. Like, for us to have this, it's a service. Let's say, when you go to TD Ameritrade, or some of these other companies, and they have like a little explanation of why the stock is moving, like a little red arrow or a green arrow, that's this. That's this. So they pay Benzinga for us to give them this data. You get included for free. You get that, you get the scanner included, basically, okay? So, all right, I think we've covered a lot. I've been here for like 4 hours now. If anybody does have questions, you know where to contact, right? But yeah, this has been a really good session. I want to thank everybody for being here. I think I explained everything. If I missed something, let me know. But basically, this whole platform, you're getting it, right? You are getting this platform. You are getting all this sort of stuff. These are the hot takes that Nick has been doing. So you can go all the way. I believe they're weekly. So it's Nick's weekly hot take. And this is separate from all this. Like, you already got the hot take, the cold take, every take from Nick you got. You're with him 9 hours a day. But you also get this on top. Okay? Nick's hot take. So I can't wait for you guys to go and check these videos out. And the education videos, if you don't know where to get them, the ones I'm showing now, send me an email or call me. And I'll because it's not on the same site, it's on a separate site. That's maybe why you might not find them. But just email me if you need, if you would like to know where they are, and I can hand them over to you there. If you're a chat member, of course, right? So these videos, check them out, very helpful. The live session, we're going to be open at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So I hope that you guys are there, right? Because again, tomorrow is going to be a very volatile day. You want to make sure that you're not winging it tomorrow, or for that matter, ever, really, right? So tomorrow, you are welcome. I think we've gone over everything. I legit think we covered every single thing here on this site. These are some of the other trades we can get updates on, right? It's almost like newsfeed, Facebook, or Instagram, right? Get all the trades there. Now you can expand each of these reports right here. so that you can really get a sense of the trade. Okay, so you'll find everything there so that you don't need to go to a new site. And this came from feedback from, I forget her name, but she gave me, some feedback on how this would be easier to digest. And we take feedback from users, so we can continue improving this. Again, my goal is to make this the best options chat room in the planet. I don't think there's any competition out there. I mean, I think we pretty much, with Nic, I'm going to be honest, Nic is definitely amazing. Nic is top of the line. He's there for 9 hours a day. He's really helpful. He's been doing this with Benzinga for 11 years or 12 years, something like that. And look, when it comes to helping traders, that's really what we're known for, right? What really makes us stand apart is the fact that we take a more hands-on approach. We take a hands-on approach because we want to make sure that you succeed. We actually care about your success. And that's why we're there for 9 hours a day. It's quite impressive, especially for somebody like Nic. You're not getting no junior assistant there. You're getting the top guy. So, all right. So I think we covered everything, folks. The chat room, the email trade alerts. Yes, Jeremy, the scanners are included. These scanners are all included for y'all that join. Okay. And it is 2 years for one. So 20 email trades per month, plus 1 to 3 or more trades every day in the chat room. Okay. And you also get the Sunday meeting included. So every Sunday, and this meeting that you and I are in right now, it's not the meeting I'm talking about. The meeting that Nic has privately with his chat members every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You're going to be part of that, right? And you will, and that is included as well, right? So you do get that. And I'm telling you, doing it on a Sunday, it helps a lot. I mean, I have to work doing this stuff on Sundays, but if I would be in that meeting, which sometimes I'll pop in just to see what's going on, it gives you such a great head start on the week. It gives you a head start. And that's really like the main thing where I think it's so great to do it on that Sunday. So I think we covered most of the stuff here. Let me just make sure there's no more questions here, folks. All right. If anybody does have questions, you can reach out, call, email. We're only going to have this deal until midnight. So that means that if you get the subscription, if you get the subscription for 1 year, we're going to give you another year totally free, 100% free. Okay. So 2 years for the price of one. So you join, the normal annual is $2,300. That pretty much covers you for 2 years. Yes, anybody that joins today before midnight will get it. Good question there, Michael. And if you have any other questions, just contact me. My number is there, and we can go over any questions and details. So big shout out. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope you have a blessed Sunday, a happy Sunday, a successful, productive Sunday, of course. We've already done a lot. Like we've been talking stocks here for like 4 hours. So, we're definitely trying to help, right? I hope you can tell. So we can help you more. We can give you more help if you want. You can join the chat room and we'll help you for 9 hours a day. So big shout out, everybody. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you're staying safe. Trade with a plan, trade responsibly. Join the chat room with Nic, of course, right? And we'll see y'all tomorrow there in the chat room. Big shout out to all y'all. Let's go. All right, folks, have a good weekend, and we'll see you in the chat room tomorrow.